I figured that trying to find somebody who at least cared about me was enough. "Why do you have to be such a downer?" I shouted over the music, trying to be heard as I reached for my drink. "We came here to have fun, and that's what we plan on doing. Lighten up and have some fun already." Turning my attention back towards the dance floor, I took inventory of everybody who was there. It appeared to be slim pickings that night, but at this point, I was more concerned with losing my virginity than with finding a forever relationship. I already knew that as soon as I lost my virginity and got a good idea of the concept of sex, I would be able to entice any man the way a woman should. It was just a matter of knowing what men wanted. The part that I was worried about was the fact that everybody was so young in this bar. I knew that if I went to the bar clear across town in the richer area, I would see older men, like what I preferred rather than younger men, but I didn't have enough cab fare to make it from that part of town, so instead I decided that I was going to go someplace a little more local. Surprisingly enough, there was one person in the crowd who looked to be about my type. He was tall and buff, but he wore a business suit the same way almost every young man in the bar did. He looked like he had just gotten off work, and I could see the hints of gray in his hair as he stood there under the blue light next to the bar. A smile started to spread across my face as I turned to look at Carol, who still looked a bit uncomfortable as she stood there. "If you want to head back to the apartment, I won't keep you here," I told her gently as I placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "I'll text you as soon as I'm on my way back to the apartment. If you don't hear from me by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, call me." She nodded her head vigorously before disappearing into the crowd, heading towards the door, while I turned my attention back towards the man who was sitting at the bar. I could tell that he would be just as interested in me as I was in him. Swinging my hips from side to side, I made my way across the floor from the table I had been sitting at to the bar, my mind racing as I tried to consider what to say to him once I actually arrived. Something in the back of my mind was telling me that I already knew the man, but I didn't recognize him in the light of the bar, so I decided to ignore it as I approached. "Can I get a cocktail, please?" I asked the bartender as soon as I arrived, deciding it would be better to ask for a drink than to talk to the man outright. It wasn't that I had completely lost my courage. It was more along the lines of I didn't know how to start the conversation. The bartender immediately set to work on the drink, and I saw the man raise an eyebrow out of the corner of my eye. "A cocktail?" he asked as he turned his full body towards me, looking me up and down with hungry eyes. "That's a first. Normally, all the other women that come here prefer martinis or beer." I shrugged as I accepted the drink from the bartender. "I don't like to pretend I like something that I don't," I said before taking a sip of my drink. "I'm not here to impress anybody. Instead, I'm just here to have fun." He chuckled as he tilted his head at me. "What's your name?" he asked, sounding genuinely curious as he spoke. Despite the fact that I knew that it was dangerous to give him my actual name, I didn't see any harm at this point, so I offered him my hand to shake. "Addison," I informed him, "but you can call me Addie."